Investigation exposing a man who claims to cure autism.
You want to slap you? Yeah? Or do you want to punch you? Which one do you want? Slap or punch? Choose. Choose, which one do you want? Choose.
Our secret filming reveals intimidating treatment and it costs thousands of pounds.
It is horrifying. It's terrifying. The effects are likely to be catastrophic.
Campaigners call for a change in the law, also tonight. A murder investigation is launched after a gang armed with baseball bats and knives target a man in a parked car. Plus, why these two pensioner paperboys have received a payout after pocketing as little as 69 pence an hour. And
roll your finger. Would that be okay? Down, 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 down. Don't move on 3. 1, 2. Izzy wizzy. Let's get busy. There it is.
We take you inside the Magic Circle as one of the most secretive organisations prepares to open its doors to the public. Good evening and welcome to BBC London News. We start tonight with an investigation by this programme exposing shocking practices claiming to supposedly cure people with autism. Our undercover filming, where a researcher poses as an autistic teenager, shows him being subjected to shouting, intimidation and threats of violence. What's more, it costs thousands of pounds. Guy Lynn has this exclusive and disturbing report.
Jordan! This man's treating someone he thinks is a vulnerable autistic person by shouting at them.
Jordan!
Stop it!
And worse.
You want to slap you? Yeah? Or do you want to punch you?
But our reporter isn't autistic. He's undercover, exposing a shocking technique from Hungary it's claimed can eventually cure someone of autism. Emma and her children have autism, so they have huge difficulties communicating and relating with others. She was surprised to hear about a Hungarian company offering to cure the condition and whose training programmes had even featured on Hungarian TV. Knowing her condition is a lifelong neurological disorder, she got in contact.
I was told that if I did this training, then I would lose my autism diagnosis, that I'd no longer be autistic, that he could train my brain to release the trauma that it was withholding, and then suddenly I wouldn't be autistic anymore.
So apparently the Hungarian company that's been making those claims has a trainer who's based in East London. His name is Joseph Kantor, and apparently he's searching for autistic people to treat. We arranged to meet him, saying we've got an autistic son, Jordan. Sure enough, he offers to locate an autistic person's inner trauma.
I have to define the trauma,
which means eventually the autism will go away.
And after is the people look like normal.
So the autism has gone?
Yes, because
Later, he takes a deposit of the £3,500 he charges.
40?
Okay, Mr. Jordan,
Come with me.
And our undercover reporter records what happens.
All right, we start. Okay.
First, it's what Joseph calls fixed point, forcing an autistic person to stare at him for many hours a day.
Your job look like stone. You watch my eyes now. Start.
Then it's taunts.
Oh, I'm autist. Oh.
Finally, it's threats of violence.
you want to slap you? Yeah? Or do you want to punch you? Which one do you want? Slap or punch? Choose. Choose, which one do you want? Choose.
Not only would the techniques not work, they may make the condition of any autistic person worse.
An encounter like this will make their stress, will send it through the roof. To be confronted with someone who is so threatening is horrifying. It's terrifying, and to someone who is prone particularly to stress and anxiety, then the effects are likely to be catastrophic.
We contacted the Hungarian organisation Stable Point Technology, who said their technique had helped autistic people. Joseph Kantor said it was training, not a cure. He didn't operate in the UK, and what we had recorded had been a joke.
Right, coming in.
And for Emma, who lives with autism day to day, this reaction.
Anger, disgust, hatred,
Really?
sadness. What sort of person can do that? A vulnerable member of society and tell them things that he tells them, treat them how he treats them.
Offering to treat conditions like autism isn't illegal. A petition now has over 50,000 signatures, calling for the criminalisation of those like this man who offer quack treatments to vulnerable people. Guy Lynn, BBC London News.
Well, Liza Dresner works with autistic people every day and she was watching that report. She's from the charity Resources for Autism. I could see how uncomfortable you were just watching that.
It's just horrific.
And your reaction to what you're seeing there, effectively?
Well, the most important thing is the fact that people like that can just do this and get away with it. There's no legislation to stop them or anybody else who's just selling any snake oil treatment.
What sort of thing would you like to see happen? So you agree that people need protection from unproven treatments. What sort of thing would you like to see?
I think it should be legislation. I think there has to be a law that means that if people say they are selling something or even giving something away that's going to have an effect on somebody's condition, and it's complete lies, that they can be prosecuted.
Now, just to be clear, there is no known cure for autism, but I guess you could see how anyone with autism or who has a child with autism could be taken in by this sort of thing.
Absolutely, people are desperate. It's a very difficult condition to live with. It's very difficult for families, it's very difficult for individuals. With the right support, people can do very well. But when somebody says, hey, I've got a cure, all you have to do is give me £3,500, of course families are going to jump at that.
Now, just to be clear, we don't know how much business he's done in London, but with an estimated 90,000 people on the autism scale, this is a warning to people, isn't it?
We're talking about 1% of the population. And of course it's a warning. It's to say to people, don't be taken in. If you're desperate, seek proper help, but don't be taken in by people who are asking for money for cures.
OK. Liza Dresner, many thanks for coming in and for your time this evening. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And you can see more on that story later on tonight on Inside Out London. That's at 7:30 here on BBC One. Do stay with us, though. Coming up later in the programme.
I'm at Lord's, where on Friday it was described as one of the greatest finishes to a county cricket season. I'll be speaking to two of Middlesex's heroes after they brought home the title for the first time since 1993.
An eyewitness has described the moment a gang of men armed with baseball bats and knives targeted a victim by ramming their car into his vehicle before chasing and attacking him. Police investigating the murder are looking at CCTV footage which BBC London has obtained. I should warn you that inevitably some of the content of Alex Bushell's report could be distressing.
What remains of this car hints at the violence of last night. As forensic officers scoured the scene today, BBC London has already unearthed crucial CCTV footage that makes clear exactly what happened here. This is a camera above a row of shops on Heath Park in Dagenham. It's a little after 7:30 in the evening. A blue Megane pulls up and parks. Within a few moments, one of the passengers will be running for his life. Just watch. This gang is at least 6 strong, armed with chains, baseball bats and knives. It has all the gruesome hallmarks of a gang-related and targeted attack. Now watch again and concentrate on the rear passenger door. The others in the car have by now run away. This is the driver though. He exchanges blows and then walks away. He ran down here, Braintree Road, in this housing estate, where he was set upon. Even though this area is troubled with low-level criminality and antisocial behaviour, residents here tell me that this is still extraordinary, that it happened in the early evening and with the level of violence that it did has left many people scared. Katie's one of them. She has every right to be scared. She saw everything. She was also the one to call the emergency services and give first aid. We're protecting her identity for fear of reprisals.
The Asian male that was stabbed ran in front of the Ford Fiesta. At that point, one of the guys with the chain was hitting him, and the other guys were stabbing him. At that point, I couldn't do nothing because they were there.
Well, I know it's still very fresh. When you close your eyes, what's the first image you see from last night?
Him laying there and taking off his shirt and seeing that first wound, and it just pouring out blood. So it was terrifying. But There's no good standing around not helping him. Surely, like, the last thing you want to do is him trying to remember that someone was trying to help at least.
And that act of kindness was to be his last memory. He died at the scene shortly afterwards. The police have confirmed he was in his 30s, and a murder investigation has been launched after what appears to be an attack as brazen as it was violent. Alex Bushell, BBC London News.
Now, with a combined age of 130, they may not look like your typical paper boys, but these two pensioners from Berkshire have taken on rounds to earn some extra cash. And with one of them claiming to pocket as little as 69 pence per hour, they decided to challenge their former employer over their wages. Experts say the case highlights the challenges faced by an increasing number of over 65s in part-time work, as Sarah Harris now reports.
Still a paperboy in his 60s, Rodney Sharp does the part-time delivery job in Maidenhead to supplement his pension. He thought a wage of around £3 an hour was all he could expect.
They normally pay the young paperboys a low wage, and I suppose they wouldn't want to pay adults any more when they can get the boys to do it cheaper. They'll probably say, if you don't like it, look for another job.
How long did it take you? An hour and a half?
But colleague Roger Lilly decided to challenge their hourly rate. It took 3 years to battle for a pay rise.
Well, when I first started, it was during the week I worked it out after I paid for my car, 69p an hour. The reason I'm happy to do this interview is that to get it out there, so that people can get what they're entitled to, basically.
The chief executive of the Mid-Counties cooperative that employed both Roger and Rodney has apologised. He says they've now changed the way that they employ their staff and their rate of pay. The Friends were eventually given £18,000 in back pay between them. Experts say the case highlights how an increasing number of self-employed pensioners working part-time are treated in the workplace.
It is quite a problem because in a lot of situations it just isn't entirely clear. There is no, for example, straightforward legal definition that applies to all cases where you can sort of read the rules and say, yes, that's an employee, or yes, that's a self-employed person. And often these things do need to get resolved through the courts, unfortunately. And, you know, it's a really big issue that I think government needs to look at.
The Maidenhead pensioners are still getting up at 4 a.m. doing their rounds for another company. They recommend other workers over 65 fight for their rights, as they have done. Sarah Harris, BBC London News, Maidenhead.
A £160 million cancer centre designed by patients has opened in London today. Outpatient clinics will be held in the new building at Guy's and St Thomas's Hospital. It will soon offer chemotherapy and radiotherapy treatment too.
To know that cancer patients can come into this wonderful building, immediately into the welcome area, relax before going to their treatment, and knowing that all their treatments are going to be in one building is absolutely fantastic.
And you can see more on that and other stories making the news in London today on our Facebook page. As you can see, the details are on your screen now. The family of a man killed in a cycling race in France yesterday have paid tribute to the 60-year-old from South London. Ian Bashford was taking part in a 33-mile time trial in Normandy when he was in a collision with a support vehicle. Frankie McCanley joins me here now with more. So what more do we know?
Well, what we know is Ian Bashford was taking part in the Duo Normand bike race yesterday. Now, he was a member of the Old Portland Cycling Club based in Bromley in South London, the team tweeting this picture just before the race began. The 60-year-old was a retired Metropolitan Police officer who protected high-profile ministers, including the likes of the former Prime Minister, Tony Blair. What we know about the day of the race is Mr Bashford was riding alongside one of his teammates. They were in the final stretch in the last 200 metres from the finish line. And what happened was a vehicle believed to be supporting a different cycling team swerved in their way. The team tried to move, they tried to get out of the way, but unfortunately the vehicle hit Mr Bashford. Paramedics arrived on the scene, but he did die.
Terribly sad. And I gather his son has paid tribute today.
Yes, he has. I spoke with Mr Bashford's son, who understandably didn't want to speak, but he did give a statement from the family which said Dad was the straightest arrow you ever met. His sense of right and wrong shaped his character, and he couldn't have been more loyal to those around him. He loved his cycling and doted on his young grandkids. He'll be sorely missed by his family. We also heard from a spokesperson from his cycling club that described Mr Bashford as passionate, who would help anyone, and Sir Bradley Wiggins also tweeting to say that this is incredibly sad news, but of course now questions surrounding the safety of this event being asked, and as police investigate what happened here.
Indeed, tributes to Ian Bashford. Frankie McCamley, thank you. Still to come this Monday evening.
We go behind the curtain at the Magic Circle, which is opening its doors to the public for the first time ever. Now, if this was cheesy TV, I'd disappear right now.
Jeremy Corbyn has denied there's any problem between him and London's mayor, saying it's time to move on and unite. Sadiq Khan backed his opponent in the leadership contest, and yesterday former Mayor Ken Livingstone said he had been less than supportive of his leader. Let's get more on this from our political editor Tim Donovan, who's at the Labour Party conference in Liverpool. Tim.
Riz, the short history of the mayoralty in London shows us not to expect harmony between the incumbent of City Hall and whoever the party leader is, but it would have been quite nice for Labour, wouldn't it, from their point of view, if they could have put on a show of unity here this week, and Jeremy Corbyn, the embattled leader, could bask in the glow of his man winning convincingly in London, winning back the mayoralty for Labour. But there has been this perception and a growing concern among some in Labour that there is a gap between mayor and leader, that their relations are not close, and that there hasn't been that much contact. I put that to the Labour leader, Jeremy Corbyn, a short while ago.
The truth is Sadiq's doing a great job as mayor. The truth is that he's ensuring we learn a lot of lessons on how we deal with the housing crisis in Britain by what he's trying to do in London, and I'm very happy to work with Sadiq on all of that.
When were you last in contact with him?
A few weeks back, before he went to the USA.
Not after you just won?
No, I haven't been in touch with him, and I will catch up with him this week in Liverpool.
Some people will be surprised by that. Do you think he's supportive of you as he might be?
Listen, the leadership election is over. We as a party are going forward to challenge the Tory government on injustice and inequality, and in the case of London particularly facing the housing crisis.
This big now electoral winner, are you surprised, were you disappointed that he backed your opponent Owen Smith?
Listen, the election is over. We're not discussing it anymore. We're now going forward as a party, united to win a general election.
But what does it say potentially about how you are going to be working with and what kind of relationship you have with the most powerful elected figure at the moment?
I have a good working relationship with all sections of the party, of the trade unions, of council leaders, of local government associations, and this conference here in Liverpool is a good chance to have lots of informal discussions with all of them. The issues are housing, the issues are social justice in Britain, the issues are how we as a party make sure the public understand our determination to have a high investment economy that brings forward the tax incomes to pay for the services we all need.
What would you expect and hope to hear and see from Sadiq Khan's speech to conference tomorrow?
I hope he'll explain what's going on in London. I hope he'll put to people in London the way that all of us campaigned for him and with him in London. All of us knocked on doors in London. Listen, I'm not asking for favours, I'm not asking for rewards, I'm asking that all of us work together to get a message across of what Labour can do together.
Riz, in the hotel next door, Sadiq Khan's putting the finishing touches to this speech he'll deliver here. Quite a big moment for him, the biggest speech he'll have made to the party. He's likely to, emphasise the importance of winning. You have to win to be able to change the world. He'll be seeing things from a city perspective. You'd expect that, wouldn't you? Only through Labour doing well in the cities could perhaps you display, what government, a Labour government would look like. But I wouldn't imagine there'll be any sense of direct criticism, any sense that people can pick up on him presenting himself as a potential alternative leader. But there could be coded stuff in there about the direction of the party. But don't expect any kind of warm photo ops afterwards.
OK, Tim, from Liverpool, thank you. Next, to one of the most dramatic finishes that county cricket has ever seen. On Friday, Middlesex won the championship title in the last minutes of the entire 6-month season. Needless to say, the celebrations have lasted all weekend, and our sports reporter, Sarah Orchard, is back at Lord's with two very happy players. Is that right, Sarah?
Oh, they are very happy, Riz, because if you don't know the story, when we all woke up on Friday morning, it could have been won the county championship by one of 3 teams. It could have been Middlesex, Yorkshire or Somerset, but it did come down to those last few balls. And I'm delighted to say it was these 2 gentlemen of Middlesex that were on the winning side. I'm joined by Nick Gubbins and also Nick Compton. First of all, Nick Gubbins, after that tension of a whole day, what was the party like?
Yeah, it was pretty mad. I mean, we partied pretty long and hard into tonight here in the dressing room and down at the tavern. So there were a few sore heads over the weekend, but you know, just the overriding feeling of satisfaction over the past few days. It's been awesome.
And Nick, where does this rate for you? You've achieved a lot in your career, both on the international stage and domestically. Where does this come?
Oh, it's right up there. I look back at the win I had in India in 2012-13, and I think it's even more special because you're with a group of guys for such a prolonged period of time in the winters, over years and years and years, and it's what we practice. So to be here, standing on this balcony, having won the trophy, absolutely fantastic.
And Nick, when it comes to you, you're about to disappear off with the England Lions shortly. Do you have aspirations for full England honours in the future?
Sure. I mean, every player who plays county cricket aspires to play for their country, and you know, it's not more so for them than for myself. You know, it's a strange one because I started off the season just trying to keep my place in the Middlesex side, and it's turned out to be a good one. And yeah, I mean, who knows what 2017 can bring.
Just quickly before we go, Nick, changes, tweaking to the county championship next season. It seems to be in reasonably good form, doesn't it, after the finish we saw?
Yeah, fantastic advert for the game and for Test cricket. I think, what a brilliant finish to have the crowds that we had for championship cricket. I don't think that's been seen in a number of years. But I think anything to strengthen county cricket, the fact that there's down to 14 teams next year for the first division, I think will increase the intensity.
Nick, thank you so much. Congratulations. The party has just about finished, but back to you, Riz.
A well-deserved celebration for those two and the rest of the team. Sarah, thank you. And staying with sport, news that London will host the Gymnastics World Cup for the first time since 1975 at the O2 Arena next April. The likes of double Olympic champion Max Whitlock will hope to star for Great Britain alongside the best 8 nations in the world. If the 13,000-seat arena sells out, it will be a record for the event.
It's a big thing. This isn't going to be a usual competition. It's going to be very different and exciting to see. So I'm looking forward to when the tickets go on sale to see how many people want to see it. And one of my things that I've loved since I've been back from Rio is not just people saying congratulations, it's congratulations, we love watching.
Max Whitlock there. Now, it's always been shrouded in secrecy, but tonight we get exclusive access to the mysterious world of the Magic Circle. Mark Ashdown has been learning the tricks of the trade at their London HQ with a magician who's got talent.
These are the hallowed halls, where outside eyes rarely glimpse. Until now, for 3 nights in October, Jamie Raven is inviting the public inside the Magic Circle.
It's mystery. It's like if I gave you a box and told you never, ever, ever look in the box. You might put it on your mantelpiece and forever you'd be wondering what it might be. And the fact that you're never, ever going to be able to see inside it is what keeps... And that's what's great about magic. It's why you've got to keep the secrets, secret.
Let's show us a quick trick. Come on.
Be a pleasure. Yeah, do you know what? We're here basically because I did a show called Britain's Got Talent last year.
Never heard of it.
No, me neither. And these were the notes I used in my audition. They are Bank of Britain's Got Talent £50 notes. My very talented friend Drew, the four judge, and myself in the middle. Sadly, these are now useless to me as I'm not on the show anymore. So I'm going to change these back with your help into English sterling. All I need, a magic word, anything in English except abracadabra.
Izzy Wizzy, let's get busy.
Amazing. Can I borrow your finger? Would that be okay? Down, 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 down. Don't move. On 3, 1, 2. Izzy Wizzy. Let's get busy. There is £250
wow.
in cash. This is the club room. It's called the Devant room. And behind us, right here, is where you will come and do your audition if you want to join to become a member of the Magic Circle. We do a little performance just here, which is one that's particularly special to me, is Tommy Cooper. And I was really...
Just like that.
Exactly. I was asked to...
Terrible.
No, it's brilliant. I was asked to do a show on BBC called Bruce's Hall of Fame earlier this year, and you pay tribute to your inspirations, and he was most definitely one of mine. That is his actual fez as well. No, I'm going to have to stop you there. Down there is the museum and the library. It's literally where the magic happens. I call this an illusion because I don't actually tear it at all. Looks like it. Very much sounds like it, but the point is, with this trick, it isn't ripped. It just looks like it is, and the people watching it have just been tricked. And they've been tricked by their senses into believing something they have seen is the truth, when it isn't. You see, as a journalist, you'll know more than anyone else. Magic is like the newspapers in that you can never believe everything that you see.
How do they do it? OK, let's get a check on the weather, shall we? Darren Bett has joined us.
There is another magic circle out there. It's called the sun. We didn't really see much of it today, did we? Earlier on today, this picture was actually taken in Twickenham and it was good weather for ducks. We had some bursts of rain. We actually missed a lot of the rain through the afternoon into this evening, and we did see the cloud thinning and breaking a little bit, and a hint of some blue skies and a bit of warmth out there as well. It's actually quite a warm start to the week. We'll probably find the wettest weather is going to be arriving on Thursday. Once that clears away, Stowe will start to see those temperatures dropping away just a bit. Nothing too serious on the way. This is the cloud that we had today. You can see a few holes in it earlier on, and generally speaking it's a fine evening ahead. Should really be dry out there. Got a gentle southerly breeze. As we run through the night, we're probably going to find that the cloud comes back in again from the west. It'll thicken up again just to give a little bit of light rain or drizzle here and there. Quite a warm and close night. Temperatures down to about 11 or 12 degrees. But tomorrow looks like again there'll be a lot of cloud around. Little if any sunshine, a little bit of rain and drizzle from time to time, even into the afternoon as well. All the while we've got a southerly wind and it's warm air. So even though there'll be cloud, temperatures could be as high as 19 or 20 degrees. Now Wednesday, perhaps the best day of the week. This time we change the wind direction a little bit, more of a west to southwesterly, and there'll be more breaks in the cloud. There'll be more sunshine. Chances are it's going to be a dry day, and we've still got some warm air, remember, so those temperatures will get up to 22 or 23 degrees. Things change though later on in the week. We're not going to keep that warm air forever. This weather front bringing some rain down from the north, and that could hang around somewhere across the southeast into Thursday. So we're going to find the temperatures rising over the next couple of days, then dropping as that rain comes in on Thursday. But as we move into Fridays, it turns drier again, a little bit cooler, and that drier and cooler weather continues into the weekend. Riz?
22, not bad for the end of September. Darren, thanks very much indeed. And that's it for now. I'll be back later though during the 10 o'clock news. Plenty more though, of course, on our website. From me and the team here, thanks for watching and have a lovely evening. Bye-bye.
Inside Out investigates the stories that matter to us. We expose the unregulated autism treatments being offered to some of society's most vulnerable people.
Slap or punch. Choose.
And Sadiq in the USA.
I was pitching for London, man.
Inside Out London in half an hour on BBC One.
The potentially dangerous paint found in children's playgrounds. The One Show follows next.
Unparalleled talent, unprecedented access. BBC Two takes a sneaky peek behind the celebrity curtain.
One piece of advice. Go out there, grab it with both hands, and stick it in your mouth. Job done. Easy peasy. Get yourself a catchphrase. Think of an idea. Anything will do. Tweet it. Instagram it. Get it on your Facebook. Teeth. They're your passport to success, darling.
All new comedy on BBC Two. Morgana Robinson's The Agency starts tonight at 10.
Look at me. How you doing? Yeah, whatever. There are more stars on that sofa than a tax office in Panama.
Graham kicks off your weekend with a star-studded new series of The Graham Norton Show. Friday at 10:35 on BBC One.